What up? Salvador Briggman here. Welcome back to the Crowdfunding Demystified YouTube channel. On this channel, we talk about how to get your product launched, how to raise money for a crowdfunding campaign, how to do a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo, or really how to touch the surface of the universe and have ripples go out. So that way you can actually get a new product into the world. You have this great karmic effects where you're solving other people's problems with something that you invented, something that you love, and really being able to kind of like fill their world almost with the products that you made. It's really cool if you think about that. Like getting a product in the wild is one of the most neat or most interesting things out there and a way to really benefit humanity at the end of the day. So that's what I try to do is I try to help creators reach their full potential. And in today's video, I really want to dissect, demystify, and unpack the subject of press releases. And should you write a press release for a new product launch? Should you write a press release for a crowdfunding campaign? I'm gonna get into that and more in today's video, and it's coming up right after this. All right, man, again, my name is Sal or Salvador. I'm based here in Miami, Florida. It is a beautiful day, and I actually, in this video, want to cover this really core and critical topic. And I think that for many people out there in my community, where they've been following for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, and if you've been following for a couple of months, you definitely should be subscribed and you should be upvoting this video so other people know this is worth their time. But I think that one of the biggest components of doing a new campaign launch is fear. And the fact that when you launch this, who's actually gonna discover this? And all of a sudden you gotta go for this massive attention grab of getting traffic onto your crowdfunding campaign page or on your product launch page and getting people around the world to discover this. So one of the things naturally that might come to mind when it comes to a marketing strategy is getting media attention, getting PR hits, getting reporters and journalists to write about this product which you are launching. And kind of one of the lowest hanging fruits or the easiest ways to do that is with a press release. So in this video, I wanted to cover some of the benefits, the pros and the cons of doing a press release and writing one, whether or not you should even consider this, who should be actually pursuing this strategy, and more. So let's kind of start with the pros and some of the benefits here, and then we'll get to more of the cons. So I would say when it comes to writing and publishing a press release, some of the easiest ones are the fact that it's actually really easy to do. Like anyone out there can write a press release. Anyone can get it distributed. There's really nothing holding you back other than investing a tiny bit into getting that press release actually syndicated worldwide, right? So anyone can do it. And it's one of those things where maybe writing is not your best skill set, but there are lots of templates out there, which I'll be talking about a little bit later in this video. It's so easy nowadays to really just get together a press release, all the information about your product, about your company, about what you're doing, the angle, etc. So you might not do it necessarily right the first time, but it is something that you can figure out, right? Another massive pro is the fact that once you get a press release out there, if journalists do write about you, you're getting coverage literally worldwide. You're having bloggers, reporters, journalists pick up your story if you do it in the right way and start to send links either to your Kickstarter campaign, to your website, and you're starting to build more authority and credibility. When you're going out there and applying for a job, your credibility is really what you've done in the past. Or maybe it's your credentials, right? Or you've gone to a certain style of school, or you've gotten a certain degree of some kind. When it comes to the online game, and by that game I mean standing out, having people check out your product, buying it, the actual currency, if you will, of credibility is media logos, media hits, people saying nice things about you, testimonials. So if you're able to put a couple of different media logos on your projects, or even quote a journalist or an influencer who said something nice about your product, this can be an incredible way to punch through the noise and to really stand out amongst many other products that are out there and have tremendous amount of credibility. The last benefit that I'll mention is the fact that it will drive traffic to your website, to your product launch page, to your crowdfunding campaign, wherever it is that you are doing this product launch. It's going to actually deliver traffic to that specific page or that website. Now, the cool thing about this is that it's also likely then going to lead to a certain degree of sales, depending on the actual audience that's checking it out, how big the publication was that featured you. And the cool thing as well is that when other journalists will start to see that you've been featured in a publication, maybe that story starts to go a tiny bit viral on social media, they will be more inclined to write about that product as well because there's already an audience out there for the story. And journalists are in the business of writing news, but more importantly, making money from advertisements and ad dollars. So they want to only write about topics that already have an audience. They don't want to be the first one to usually break the news, right? Because there's not necessarily an established audience yet for that topic, unless you've done your homework and you've done the right things when it comes to your angles, your press release, your media kit, and you've really done a good job when it comes to identifying what the audience will be. Want to take all the stress out of fulfilling your Kickstarter rewards? Fulfillment is the turnkey solution that puts product delivery on autopilot. The top campaigns use this trusted high-tech provider to store, package, and ship their products. Focus on growing your business. Leave shipping to the experts. Don't wait. Get a custom quote from Fulfill Right today. Link in the description. What are some of the cons and who should not do a press release? Well, I would say the big one is that if you're really looking for the straight line to success when it comes to just getting pledges, getting backers on Kickstarter or Indiegogo, or when it comes to e-commerce store sales or pre-orders or however you're doing this product launch, there are more direct methods for you to actually do that. I mean, the one that comes to mind most clearly would be paid advertising or email marketing, right? There are tons of easier ways to get a direct customer to actually buy your product or to invest in your service, right? So if that's your main goal or your main core, I would say that PR is probably not the best strategy to really plow ahead with. Number one, it can be a tool in your arsenal, but it's not going to be the number one driver, right? PR is, again, more for a little bit of traffic, a little bit of credibility, getting that story going viral and really building a brand. So on the second point, if you're not interested in building a brand, if you're just doing like a one-shot off, Kickstarter campaign or a single product launch, you don't care about building a brand that lasts, that has a tribe that cares about it, has other people around the world that are associated with it, and has positive brand associations in that way. If you don't care about branding, then you're probably not going to care very much about PR. The third one is that if you are not okay with a little bit of uncertainty, and by that I mean that certain marketing strategies and certain marketing tactics are designed to have a specific result, right? That's what we call when it comes to digital marketing. What are the results that a certain strategy or tactic has in your life, or in your campaign, in your product, etc., right? But with PR, it's kind of more like a wild card, if you want to think of it that way, because a journalist may or may not write about you. They may or may not write a favorable story, right, as well about you. There might be people that publish things online that might not exactly describe maybe the benefits or the features of the product in the way that you want to. So it's a wild card, but also in another capacity, which is the fact that that person might publish this story, and this has happened to me, much sooner than you actually thought, right? I had a product that I was going to be promoting, and the journalist published it way sooner than I wanted them to, but I don't have control over that, right? It's their publication. And sometimes you can ask them to do things like embargo your story, but they might not always do that. In addition, just because you get a journalist to actually cover you or to ask you questions during an interview doesn't mean they're going to publish the story even in the near infancy. It might be embargoed until much later. So you're really working within a specific editorial calendar of that publication. So there is a wild card element when it comes to what they're writing, but also when they're publishing this and how they're deciding whether or not to actually link to the websites you want them to. So there's always a little bit of mystery and uncertainty when it comes to PR. So now you know some of the pros and some of the cons when it comes to PR, public relations, and getting a press release published. There's also some other things to consider. I would say that nowadays press releases are usually seen as a little bit more archaic and something that's sort of like an olden school way of getting the news out, but they still work 100%. I think it's also incredibly important if you're trying to build a corporation or an organization that goes beyond just that individual product. It can be a great way to start to build a legacy behind that company, which can be incredibly important if you're really trying to build a brand, right? Trust, a trusted organization that's going to have a history much long, that goes long into the future. So if you're really trying to build a brand, I think it makes a lot of sense. And finally, if this is something that you really want to incorporate into your marketing strategy for a product launch or for a crowdfunding campaign launch on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, but you don't have $5,000 or more to throw at a PR agency to do it for you, you can go and check out my free course on PR, which will show you exactly how to get into the media. In this free course, not only do I share with you some of the strategies that I've used to get media hits on my own, but also tried and true methods to get journalists and reporters and bloggers to write about you. Some of the press release examples, some of the easy things that you can use to make this process much simpler and to make sure that if you are sending out emails or you have a media kit, for example, that is going to be something that actually punches through the noise, that gets people excited about your product, and you're really telling a story that has an audience. So if you want to kind of game the system a tiny bit and really want to use the system to your advantage, go and check out that free course, which will show you, again, how to get into the media and how to get some PR hits and some media attention. I'll link that down below at crowdcrux.com/PR. If you've made it to this point in the video, I am so proud of you, man. You are learning, you are plowing forward, you're taking action, and that's exactly what you should be doing leading up to a product launch, understanding all of the different strategies and tactics which you can use to position yourself for success with launching a new product into the world and ethically dominating an entire niche or an entire market, an entire industry that's maybe even never heard of you before, building a brand from scratch. Some of the things that just make me really excited. So if you do like my teaching style, if you like the way that I cover some of these different topics that not everyone else does, give me a thumbs up, first of all, on this video. Come subscribe for more content just like this. Go and check out the links down below in the description. Maybe even leave a positive comment for me, and I'd love to read that at some point in time. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.